What's going on, everybody? It is 6:38 p.m. Sunday, September 19th, 2021. You may hear my son in the background. He is fired up right now. He had a little bit of cereal a little too late, and yeah, he's crazy. So this is something that I wanted to show. This is put together by John Deaton. If you're not following him on Twitter, you should be. He's leading the class action lawsuit of the XRP holders against the SEC for all the damages done by the lawsuit. Excuse me. But I wanted to do this as like a brief summary because I have really shared the article from Forbes about the crypto uprising, and I always highlight the line where it talks about the XRPArmy being compiled, or whatever you want to say, made up of millions of investors, through all these influencers and all this, and about the level of research they do and all this kind of stuff. So John Deaton and the Crypto Law over here have put together a video library of the evidence that has been unearthed going back to 2017. And we're just going to go over this. We're not going to watch any of the videos, but I just wanted to kind of go through this and it'll help me get the point across on why I'm so bullish. Because remember, it's not financial advice. It's not investment advice. Nothing like that's going on here. It's just for entertainment and educational purposes only. It's just a hobby of mine. Don't buy or sell anything based on anything you see or hear here without doing your own research first. You should always do that. It's the internet. Don't trust it. So basically, let's get right into it. This is the video library they put together, and it says basically, the SEC, and I am going to read most of this. I know for those of you watching, that might be a little drawn out. You could even put it on like double speed if you want to get through it faster, but I know some of you might be driving, things like that. So, or maybe just not in front of a screen. I listen to a lot of my stuff on headphones. So anyway, the SEC has repeatedly insisted that it has provided clarity to investors on precisely how it determines whether a digital asset is a security, therefore subject to its regulation or not. However, it is nearly a universal perception among digital asset investors and blockchain project developers that the SEC provides no clarity whatsoever, and that its public statements and actions have only generated market confusion. In turn, this has led to what many have called regulation by enforcement. Many holders of the XRP digital currency believe that they were unfairly harmed by the SEC's lawsuit against Ripple Labs and its two top executives in December of 2020, which crashed the value of their holdings and led to massive panic selling, suspension of XRP trading on exchanges, and $15 billion in forced losses to retail investors. Over 19,000 of them have joined a motion to intervene in the case, as neither the SEC nor Ripple represent their interests, but they have been harmed by the lack of fair notice from the regulator who filed the enforcement action. The SEC has responded that all XRP holders should have known that XRP, which operates on a fully decentralized open source ledger, was a security from 2013 until the day the lawsuit was filed. In response, these investors have crowdsourced a wealth of evidence that supports their conviction that the SEC failed to provide fair notice to the markets and instead fostered market confusion, which allowed for picking winners and losers rather than providing equal protection to all investors. Furthermore, in this climate of market confusion, the evidence suggests unfair advantages were granted to insider investors by senior SEC officials with conflicts of interest. And so, yeah, this is where we stand, guys. This is I won't say the whole defense, but this is the basis of the whole fight here. Excuse me, I take a drink. Is that the SEC did not provide clarity, and then, fair notice is basically the defense. Ripple was, known for meeting with the SEC a lot of time, and regulators on weekly basis since the beginning, and they did that because they wanted to work within the banks. This isn't some random meme coin or anything like that. The Ripple actually had like a plan. There's like a business model. They have a whole vision with some of these use cases that are going to be, transformative on a global scale. And so they have really tried to remain as regulatory friendly as possible. So it's just really crazy. So let's just go through this. This is 2017 is where the timeline starts. I don't think this will take too long. They're all summarized very well. But so 2017, we are in March. I'm not going to read the exact dates. You guys can come look at it. If you can't see, I will put the links to some of this stuff in the description. So, yeah, March of 2017, Jay Clayton is at the Senate Banking Committee. His confirmation hearing, he gets questioned by Elizabeth Warren over how he would be barred from voting on the SEC on the matters involving clients of his previous law firm, Sullivan and Cromwell, which was true because of a certain executive order that Trump had issued, and some certain client attorney privileges and so forth kind of played into each other, and that's true. So what it doesn't tell you in that clip is that Sullivan and Cromwell represents hundreds, if not thousands, of giant companies along Wall Street. So for the SEC co-chair to not be able to weigh in would result in a lot of more deadlocks, which would result in no action, so it's whatever. We're still in 2017, but we're in December. Consensus is building an alliance with the SEC. Matt Corva says Joseph Luzin's company Consensus, a client of Sullivan and Cromwell, Jay Clayton's law firm, has been building an alliance with other blockchain companies, law firms, and regulators. Now, here's a quote. We've had some talks with the folks at the SEC, and he's referring to the Enterprise Ethereum Alliance, which was founded in 2017, which also includes Simpson, Thacher, and Bartlett, the law firm of SEC Director of Corporation Finance, William Hinman. The alliance's mission is to drive the use of the enterprise Ethereum. And you'll see as we go through these dots connect pretty quick. So now we're up in March 28th of 2018. And keep in mind, each of these things I'm reading, there's a video that goes along with it. I do challenge you guys, if you're interested in the Ripple XRP SEC drama, whether you hold or not, maybe you just want to learn why people think this is such a good idea or such a bad idea, because there's certainly two sides to that tale. Watch these videos and just see where, I am part of what we refer to as the XRPArmy. We are very serious about it. I like I said, I don't go into politics and ethics and all that stuff. I invest for opportunity to secure a better future for me and my family, and hopefully even more people one day. And I personally feel like this is my best shot at it. And I just think you guys should at least take the time, if you're interested, to go through some of these videos. So anyway, March 28th of 2018, Andreessen Horowitz organizes a meeting of Ethereum investors and lawyers with the SEC to lobby for a free regulatory pass to Ether, which was launched with an ICO in 2014 and has been sold in large quantities to investors for speculative purposes afterwards. A participant in the meeting, Nancy Watyas, later revealed that a group of Ethereum investors and a member of the Enterprise Ethereum Alliance, the law firm of Perkins Coie, gave the SEC written proposals that the New York Times quoted as seeking a free pass for Ether. Guys, this thing, it gets crazier. I'm just going to keep going. Gary Gensler, MIT Business of Blockchain, April of 2018. He was the former CFTC chairman at that point, and he said himself there is not regulatory clarity in the digital asset markets, and for Ripple, there needs to be clarity in the market. He is now the guy running the SEC, so just keep that in mind. They also donated a ton of money to MIT while he was the professor, and by they, I mean Ripple, so that's also interesting. April 28th, 5 days later, Hinman exchanged with Tom Emmer. At House Financial Services Committee hearing, Republican Tom Emmer asked for a specific definition on when a token is not a security. They discussed the definition of a utility token, which does not fit the description of Ether. Emmer asked what projects can do to improve regulatory clarity to prevent enforcement actions by the SEC, and Hinman replied that the SEC is meeting with participants with tokens that they believe shouldn't be regulated as securities, and we work through them with how that may be structured. 2 days later, April 30th, still in 2018, Robert Jackson on CNBC, SEC Commissioner Robert Jackson says Chairman Clayton has not seen an ICO that is not a security. Well, that doesn't make sense because Ether had a massive ICO. May 10th, Charles Gasparino reports on the Brooklyn Project. Charles Gasparino of Fox Business has spoken to major players in the cryptocurrency blockchain industry who are coming together with a consensus on an organizational route to ensure that anything that is traded inside their blockchain to be considered a currency and given legitimacy. He cites the Brooklyn project started by Joseph Lubin and figures linked to Ethereum who have lots of friends on Wall Street. Gasparino also tweets that Lubin's efforts seek to create the first self-regulatory organization sanctioned by the SEC enforcement. Brooklyn Project then tweets a big correction, not SEC sanctioned, and no current plans for a sanctioned organization. Gasparino replies that he'd been told what he reported. This was about 1 month before Hinman's speech. May 12th, a couple days later, Joseph Lubin, we're still talking Ethereum and consensus here, keynote address at Ethereum blockchain conference. Lubin says that we need mechanisms to allow for fundraising and token sales despite the fear, uncertainty, and doubt you've heard of over these many months. We are making great strides in helping the people that make those decisions understand. This was 1 month before Hinman speech. You go to May 17th. 1 month before the Hinman speech, Lubin, after doing his legal homework, says Ether was never a cryptocurrency and sold very explicitly to software developers, to people who intended to use the system, and not sold for speculative purposes. It was never a security, he says. In fact, Ethereum co-founder Vitalik Buterin advertised the 2014 ICO as an opportunity for anyone to purchase Ether, which was a currency inside the Ethereum system, sort of like the XRP in Ripple. Buterin also structured a sale of 500,000 Ether tokens to Lubin's college friend Mike Novogratz in 2015, which he said made him a hefty profit on the secondary market. That's interesting. Mike Novogratz, Goldman guy, just saying, Galaxy Digital, it's all connected, guys. Tom Lee from CNBC, ex-JP Morgan, makes elliptical comment that the SEC will declare that Ether is not a security, causing a confused CNBC host to ask for him to explain. And then it makes you wonder, they put here, did Lee see a draft of the Hinman speech? We do know it was sent out to like 60 different emails prior to it being done. I haven't seen an update on that yet. May 24th of the same year, Joseph Lubin at the VivaTech conference in Paris says we are able to issue tokens that are not securities and describes apparent details of the Hinman speech almost a month before it is made. It's like he knew it was coming. Here you have Michael Novogratz with on Bloomberg, with whom Vitalik Buterin arranged a purchase of 500,000 Ether tokens for speculative purposes in 2015, says, I bet dimes to donuts that the SEC will say that Ether probably was a security but isn't anymore. This was 9 days before the Hinman speech. Did Novogratz see a draft in her hands? The next day, Jay Clayton is on CNBC and confirms that he sees that most ICOs are securities. The host asked whether the SEC is planning now to make a clear statement on that, and Clayton replied, Bob, I hope I just did. 2 days later, Joseph Lubin, co-founder of Ethereum and Consensus, says that we certainly need bodies like the SEC to scare many projects straight. Same day, he talks about the Ethereum Framework within the SEC. He says, we have a framework that enables us to sell consumer utility tokens, not in enormous quantities, not with discounts for large investors, and that purchasers have to be accredited and demonstrate you will use these tokens on the platforms. He does not mention the 500,000 tokens that were sold in a private transaction to his college roommate investor Mike Novogratz. Mike Novogratz said he later sold them at an enormous profit. All 5 SEC commissioners at the Atlanta Town Hall, this is June 13th of 2018, in the presence of all the commissioners of the SEC, Abraham Zong, I don't know how you say it, of the Blockchain Chamber of Commerce, who says there is not a lot of clear guidance on blockchain technology from the SEC, and he asked for an official position from the commissioners. Chairman Jay Clayton insists that we have had very clear rules on how to conduct fundraising, and that most of what I've seen in the ICO space is a securities offering. It is raising money for a project where I give you my money, you give me some type of right back that reflects a return on your project. That's a securities offering. And I don't know how much more clear I can be about it. This was 1 day before the Hinman speech. We are still 1 day before the Hinman speech when the SEC Chief of Capital Markets trends at the Division of Corporation Finance, Amy Starr, says that if a token is literally something that you are buying and you are only going to use it on an already existing platform that you are buying to use, then I would say, hey, that token is a use token, which may not have the characteristics of a security. This has been the experience of thousands of XRP purchasers and the XRPL developers who would later be harmed in the filing against Ripple. Here's the Hinman speech, was given on June 14th. This was given at the Yahoo Finance All Markets Summit, which declared that putting aside the fundraising of Ethereum's ICO, Ether is not a security. Well, how do you put that aside? That's crazy to me. Hinman then comments on his own speech moments after giving it, saying that the speech was given because the chairman and the SEC felt that they had to be clear and transparent and give guidance about Ether. The SEC legal staff has frequently cited this speech to affirm in official SEC legal documents the commission has publicly recognized Ethereum and its native currency Ether. Court filings indicate drafts of the speech were attached to at least 63 SEC emails before it was final, and the SEC refuses to identify who the recipients and drafters were inside and outside of the agency. After suing Ripple, the SEC and Hinman disowned this speech as being market guidance from the SEC, arguing it was only Hinman's personal opinion. Oh, it's frustrating. June 21st, Warren Davidson's on CNBC and indicates that his impression that Hinman's speech was market guidance on how the SEC will regulate crypto. June 26th, Big Brad Garlinghouse, the Ripple CEO, says he mentions how Coinbase announced that they would list Ethereum Classic 2 days before Hinman's notorious speech. Same day, Joseph Lubin is on here with Dominic Chu. And it's just days after the speech, a jubilant Lubin says he believes competitor Ripple is massively overvalued. And if you watch it, it's the most awkward kid in a candy store can't keep a secret. I'm so excited type of vibe coming off of this guy. He's like a giant man-child. It's unreal. No grace whatsoever. Wall Street's crypto king Bart Smith is on CNBC's Fast Money, and he shows the market perceived that Hinman's speech was market guidance that Ether is not a security, and he adds that Hinman left out that other tokens didn't meet the same criteria. That's interesting. Shout out to DAI for some of these videos. I see my boy Bank XRP and a few other guys on here too. These guys are awesome. At Rise 2018 on July 9th, Lubin says Hinman's speech contained very interesting things about consumer utility tokens, despite Hinman never using that term in his speech, and insists that the U.S. does have regulations for crypto. At the Soul Beyond Blocks Summit on July 17th, Mike Novogratz comes strolling in, and he says that Consensus co-founder and Ethereum co-founder Lubin was a college roommate of his and is a wonderful source for me, and we collaborate, adding that he is talking to enough people in the ecosystem who are talking to the regulators every day. August 20th, Jesse Powell at Distributed 2018, who is the CEO of Kraken, clearly indicates market perception that Hinman's speech was that the SEC, or was SEC market guidance that lacked clarity beyond Bitcoin and Ether not being securities. That was pretty much the only thing that they really were clear about, is that they were not going to consider the two of them securities. Lubin warns of reckoning coming at First Mark on September 17th. After Ether obtained its regulatory pass, he warns of a reckoning coming from the SEC for certain projects. Keep in mind, guys, the timeline's unreal. This is going to get crazy. September 17th, Joseph Lubin reframes Ether as a consumer utility token. He describes Ether as a new way of organizing for collective action, since its purchasers are forced to pledge or constrained to using the token on the network and cannot speculate on them for profit. It makes no sense. Bill Hinman goes on the Georgetown Law FinTech Week, and he makes clear that his June 2018 speech was was market guidance from the SEC, not just from him. And this is a quote: It was the first time that we expressed to the world that we didn't view Ether as a security as it was then currently being offered. Again, referring to the speech, he said, we also last summer spoke a little bit more about how we were looking at Ether and Bitcoin, and we made it very clear that we don't see a reason to regulate those as securities. We're into 2019, guys, but we're getting close. Bear with me. 2019, Joseph Lubin says, "We are big friends and fans of the SEC," and they praised its application of something called securities law. He adds that the SEC has introduced a new construct called decentralization into their regulatory thinking, mentioning that they see Bitcoin and Ether as decentralized and that no transactions involving those parties or those particular assets are considered to be securities, but mentions that they have not said the same about other tokens, specifically XRP, claiming to know that the SEC is not going to find any token other than Bitcoin and Ether to be decentralized, dropping in Hinman's name. All right, March 6th, 2019. What do we got here? SEC Senior Advisor for Digital Assets, Valerie, Sheshapanic, I do not know, describes how the SEC defines whether a digital asset is a security. April 27th, 2019, Joe Lubin admits that according to legal analysis at the time we conducted the sale of Ether, it failed a prong of the Howey test. I bet it did. I bet it did. I'm not even a fan of the Howey test, but it's the hypocrisy that gets me pissed off. Michael Hokey, I don't know. He was a senior counsel at the at the SEC, points to William Hinman's 2018 speech as guidance. June 25th, SEC Commissioner Robert Jackson makes it clear that Hinman's speech was guidance to the market, using the word "we" multiple times and saying the speech gave a set of principles that the market could follow. September 12th, 2019, former SEC counsel Nancy Watyas, I don't know, man, these names, they reveal Hinman's speech lifted from ETH document. She was of Cooley LLP, former counsel of the SEC chair, reveals she participated in the March 2018 meeting organized by Andreessen Horowitz, where a proposal written by the law firm of Perkins Coie, a core member of the Enterprise Ethereum Alliance, was submitted asking for a free pass for Ether. She added that most of Hinman's June 2018 speech was lifted from that proposal and meetings that we had. She adds that the SEC later told her it disagrees with Hinman's speech, that tokens are mutable and can change. She also suggests that entrepreneurs should fight the SEC, which is determined to make their life hell. She warns that if we want to lose blockchains to the Russians, continue on this course, and says that the SEC is creating regulation by enforcement. November 19th of 2019, Robert Jackson, SEC Commissioner, talks to market participants, and in a meeting, he says that Hinman's speech again was market guidance, and that the SEC is regulating ad hoc instead of conducting formal rulemaking, since any formal rule could become obsolete in a matter of months. He describes the lack of clarity and guidance as a deliberate strategy set forth by Chairman Jay Clayton. And if you watch those videos, it really is interesting. They were trying to say that by the time they were able to move forward with legislation and get something from like a bill to get it passed and then get it, put into law, that the space would have transformed so much that it would no longer be valid because of the speed that this thing is moving, that the space is growing. And they were basically saying that that's why they choose to be so vague and everything. It's just like, whatever. That guy's like a used car salesman, this Robert Jackson. Go watch it. It's like going to like a buy here, pay here for the first time and having one of those dudes roll up on you. He just moves his hands a lot and talks way too fast. He's too animated. This guy is a hustler, believe that. Vitalik Buterin and Coinbase Speaker Series. The creator of Ethereum tells Coinbase CEO Brian Armstrong how we are getting rid of the network's proof of work mechanism to replace it one entirely based on proof of stake. He adds that this transition depends on Ethereum's users abandoning the $50 billion base layer that they know and love and move to the one we consider better. It's still a leap that people will have to take. This is a month before the SEC files the Ripple lawsuit. December 22nd of 2020, the SEC has sued Ripple. They sued Brad Garlinghouse and Chris Larson. On the last day of Clayton's tenure as SEC chairman, the SEC files its bombshell enforcement action against Ripple Labs and its two senior executives, alleging that XRP has been an unregistered security since 2013. The price of XRP plummets and exchanges begin to suspend trading, causing panic selling and a loss of $15 billion in value to retail investors and project developers using the XRP ledger. The SEC will go on to allege in its amended complaint that XRP has no utility other than as an investment contract in Ripple, and all market participants should have known it was a security from 2013 to the present date. Unlike with Ether, there was never an ICO for XRP. The SEC would later attempt to disown any notion that the June 2018 Hinman speech represented market guidance of any kind and was merely his personal opinion. In an affidavit supporting the SEC's motion to stop him from being deposed in the case, Hinman said that the speech was intended to express my own personal views. The motion failed, and the judge ordered Hinman to be deposed. The SEC was also forced to admit in court that it had never opened an investigation into whether Ether was an unregistered security. Ether was issued an ICO and later sold enormous sums by the Ethereum Foundation for speculative purposes to investors, including Joseph Lubin's college roommate. I mean, come on, guys. He didn't give it all to Mike Novogratz for gas fees. And then it goes to July 15th of this year. The Ethereum co-founder Lubin describes how the infrastructure of his network is still being built out, with a coming hard fork to introduce a proof-of-stake mechanism that will absorb the existing Ethereum network. This will convert their network token to one with the utility that XRP has had since its inception. And I haven't really been throwing out too many bullet points because I just wanted to get through this. But if you watch these videos, you'll pick up on some of this stuff. One of the things that they say is that if you have a golf course, and this was an example, I don't know if it was, I can't remember if they used Hinman or if it was Clayton in the thing, but whatever. I think it was Hinman. But they said if you are building a golf course and you are selling golf memberships and you do not have a golf course yet, you're just building it. You don't have the green is inlaid, you just don't actually have it. Everything's under construction. That could very well become an investment contract, which would make it a securities offering. However, if you're selling those same memberships to people while you already have a golf course, because people are using it, you now have what is more in line with a product sale. And it goes over that in some of these videos. I really do suggest you guys read some of these. And then one of the latest, or the latest one that appears, is on August 3rd of this year. The new SEC chairman, Gary Gensler, is asked about a lack of clarity on crypto rules and insists that we've been awfully clear on a bunch of this stuff, and that Jay Clayton was pretty clear 3.5 years ago, and I think the 75 cases in this area have also been clear. So that's pretty much all they have on here so far, but this is a wealth of stuff. Most of what they're putting up on here isn't going to go too far down the rabbit hole, but this is video evidence. This is these people contradicting themselves for years, now trying to say the exact opposite of what they said before. I really encourage you guys to go read this if it's something you're interested in anyway. In other news, make sure you go over and check out my boy Tyrone at Money Changes Everything. It's a lot more traditional stuff going on, but as you can see here, Crypto and the Future of Money with Adam Thorpe. That's me, guys. There I am. As you can see, I'm rocking the shirt. You already know. Got to represent the Army. Yeah, we're going to be collaborating, and I think for now we're going to bounce videos back and forth or something like that, and we're thinking about doing some sort of merge and maybe starting a separate channel where we just talk about all kinds of different financial stuff, man. I think everybody needs to be as prepared as they can for the future, and we both feel pretty strongly about that. So we'll see what happens with that. If you are on Twitter, make sure you go follow me at trueperception.3. If you're not, come on, just get on Twitter. It's awesome for crypto anyway. It's crazy on here. Yeah, guys, that's going to do it for me. I haven't been getting on here as much. It's just we've been kind of ranging for price action and stuff. I mean, I guess I'm rambling, but whatever. I haven't made a video in 5 days. Yeah, I mean, we're ranging. We're a little red right now. None of this means anything to me. Let's go ahead and pull up. I'm just going to look at the total altcoin markets while I got you guys on here. I mean, look at that range right there. I mean, I don't want to cover that. You know what I mean? And guys, if you've been following the channel for a while, Action Jackson. We've been talking about this box forever. It's gone on longer than I expected it to, so we'll just go ahead and extend that bad boy out there. But we will continue to watch this. We got to get up here. We got to get up here, guys. If we can get up in here, we can get up in here. And if we can get up in here, we might get up in here, It's like, total, this is the total crypto space. Same thing, man. Right on the 702 right now with the whole space. I mean, just ranging right on it. You can see here we're ranging below it for the most part. Now we're trying to sit on top of it. I'd like to see this candle close a little higher, to be honest. But it looks like we only got an hour to go, so we'll see. But same with this. The altcoin market cap is resting on top of it, ranging between the 702 and the 786. So we're close, man. If the bulls can just run for like a couple days, I think we're out of here. But anyway, enough of that. I'm going to go watch some football, play with my kids, whatever. Happy Sunday. Hope everybody's having a good weekend. Send me some suggestion, guys. If there's stuff you guys want me to cover, I don't have a problem getting on here. I just kind of got burnt out of putting out a video to 2 videos every day talking about, pretty much the same stuff all the time. So if there's anything you guys want to see, I thought about getting on some DeFi platforms and maybe messing around on there. I do the Kava platform, so maybe I can share some of what's going on there. I don't know. I'll see you guys on the next one, though.